We had 5 characters introduced in one single episode. That is bad. You never even do this in a rom-com harem at all either. No, it does not work, okay? I really did not care about any of these characters that were introduced in this episode because it was just so forced, so rushed. The character development I didn't care about was just so bad. I did not care about what was going on almost this entire episode. There was a plot drop in this episode, and there was some really badass animation. That was Kawaii So level of this anime season. But I feel like the value of this episode and the series as a whole got depreciated with all these character introductions in one episode. So they went from like a childhood friend character, older sister, to a student council president, to a old lolly girl that talks like an elder accent, to a trap. I mean, and then they go to a freaking lolly girl that seems to know something about what the major plot of this series, like the flags. So that is bad, okay? So, let's get into the other good factors of this episode. There is some beautiful animation. I love the animation so much. It was really fluid, crisp, and it definitely made me say, oh, that's beautiful. But that wasn't enough to bring this series back from what it tried to do. Then now the opening song, I love it. I love that opening song. I don't think the first episode actually had an opening song, so I'm going to comment on now. That opening song was awesome. I love the quality and the atmosphere of that opening song is really beautiful. But once again, I will say what the character introductions did this episode really cannot actually save what this episode was trying to do. So let's move on to the plot. Now, rom-com harems really are never good with their plots. They usually are mainly focused and centered on their characters. That is usually what keeps a rom-com alive. So, did the plot aspect of this episode save the actual series? So let's talk about that. We find out that this little lolly girl is playing chess with our main male character, Sota. Now, what is interesting about this is that she knows about the flag power. She actually has the flag power, and she says that she gives the flag power to Sota, our main male character. So this is interesting. So the flag power can be given to others in certain, I guess, individual events. I wonder how the actual power is given to someone else. But what is interesting about this entire conversation right at the end is when you find out that she's talking about each individual chess piece, like a knight, a mage, a princess. You need to topple each individual piece differently. And this goes in correlation with the actual female characters that were introduced in this one single episode. So most likely what this little lolly girl was talking about is that she was actually representing the future girls that most likely Sota would come in contact with. So she could most likely tell the future. So what the hell was going on with the plot in that end? So most likely the way I can see the plot going is that since we found out about a death flag last episode, our main male character, he has to probably topple each individual female character and trap character to be able to save his life. I think that's what the major end goal of this is, because they really didn't talk about the actual death flag on his head from last episode. It was like it was completely ignored this entire episode, like it never even happened. And then we get to see a letter at the end of this episode where Sota finds it. He finds a death flag over a letter that has his name on it, but it's technically not on his head. So I don't really understand how these flags work, but either way, I feel like maybe the major end goal of this series is probably going to try to prevent our main male character's death, because he's going to have to topple each individual female character's love romance, or friends, or whatever. So I'm interested to find out more how this flag aspect works in this series, but I just cannot look past all that rush character development in this one single episode. Everybody, did you enjoy this episode? Did you love this episode? Did you freaking think this episode was bad? What did you feel about the pacing of the characters? Did you feel like this episode was just downright awful or good? Let me know in the comments below. And everybody, once again, I will say that this series is average. It's not that bad. So everybody, I love you so much. Chibi out.